Hello there. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon me. Welcome back to Avowed, to our ongoing playthrough. Oh my god. This is so stupid. I hit the wrong button. Let's just reload. That's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. Back in our ongoing playthrough. Avowed without HUD on half of the damn difficulty. The dual dagger build.
Hey! I had a dream about you!
A bit of a stutter there.
In my dream, you were surrounded by light, but it was shining from inside. You weren't alone either. There were others. Some of them loved you, others were afraid of you, but they all followed you. Also, there was a tree that... It wasn't a tree? Oh, it made sense at the time. I can't remember anymore. It's a pity dreams aren't made to last.
I don't know, sometimes it's rather a blessing. Letter from Fior Mesiverno. Liviana. Emerald Stair is not the same without you. My animancers are in desperate need of guidance. I understand why you left, but your talents are wasted on that nest of vipers. When you've had enough of healing the body, come back to us and work on healing the soul. Ignacy Vidaro, Governor of Fior Mesiverno. Foraging notes. I've compared all local herbs to the same ones imported from Eder. If my findings are accurate, then everything that grows in the living lands is more potent. Everything. Cures as well as poisons. Of course, all the best ingredients grow in the deadliest part of the jungle, so... Maybe I should harvest a few seeds and pay someone to grow them in the republics just to see what happens. Or maybe I shouldn't contaminate the mainland until I understand what I'm dealing with. Yeah, it's probably the better course of action. Okay, we're giving major stutters. City action.
The local militias lax at the best of times, which these are not.
Envoy, could I speak with you for a moment? So, you're that godlike, the Adiran envoy. You're the one who saves the ambassador from the strangle root, right?
You clearly want something from me. What is it?
I'm just trying to help some friends of mine. They're Adirans, but they've had a string of bad luck. Is there any chance you could lend them a hand?
Sounds like a setup.
I know this is strange, but they're in a rough situation and, well, to be honest, they helped me out a while back when I needed it. I'm just trying to return the favor.
Explain to me how you know these people.
A fair request. I was an animancer in Fjord, just through the mountains in Emerald Stair. A lot of Valian animancers came to Fjord to experiment without the restrictions that come from noble patronage. Well, it turned out my high-minded theories were more explosive than I had calculated. I washed out, disgraced. Then I left Emerald Stair and I lost myself in a bottle at the Grinning Ballarok. Loaflet and Gladwine pulled me out of it.
All right. Tell me about your friends.
Galarde. Loaflet and Gladwine came here about 8 years ago, long before the recent rush of adherents. They admitted to having a checkered past back home, but they started a new life in Paradis. Back then, you'd struggle to find an adherent in the city. Now they're everywhere. Anyway, with all these adherents coming in, Loaflet and Gladwine started spotting old faces. And if they were spotting old faces, it was only a matter of time before those faces started spotting them back. They're lying low in the shantytown for now, but they mean to leave for Thirdborn.
Deeran's in the shantytown. I doubt they're getting a warm welcome. Most of the people there are Paradisans run out by Adir.
They're afraid to go out in public, and Gladwine, poor soul, he's gone blind from bad drink.
I'm not a healer.
You don't need to be. There are herbs in the wilds around Paradis that can restore Gladwine's sight. It's a little too dangerous for us ordinary folks, but for the Adiran envoy, for the hero who braved the strangle route, I'm sure it will be no problem.
Ending with flattery is a nice touch.
Agrasima.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Many thanks, envoy. Oh, there is one more thing they need. Land deeds. They've already paid for them. There's a Rawatayan in the Pearl District, Mako, who was handling the paperwork.
Why hasn't he?
I don't know. That's the problem. Mako and I had a falling out a while back. It's best if someone else goes.
Noted.
Thank you, envoy. God bless you.
You died. But you're here. Gods, am I glad to see you. Still can't believe you're alive. I'll keep trying. But there's not much to be done for Fort Northreach. None of the clerks believe my story. You've got some god looking out for you.
The Cartographers Guild, Volume 1. Long has the renowned Cartographers Guild served the emperors and queens of Eder. It is we who are responsible for the creation and distribution of the many maps throughout the empire. Whether to direct travelers throughout the expanse that is Eder, guide ship captains on their voyages throughout Eora, or simply adorn the walls of an aristocrat's home, one can rest assured that the Cartographers Guild is behind the creation of every one of these works of art. For over 2 centuries since the Noble Expedition Corps discovered the Eastern Reach, have we worked and labored to keep all of the Empire and her colonies supplied with accurate high-quality maps. God's willing, we will continue to do so for centuries yet to come. Edir Customs. Edir is a country rich with custom, and they are known for their strict adherence to them. Their customs run the gamut from grand celebrations like the Feast of Feasts to mundane superstitions, such as ways to avoid Svef addiction. This volume will focus primarily on bigger celebrations, as no one knows how to throw an extravagant party quite like an Adiran. The Feast of Feasts. The biggest and most important of all Adiran customs is the Feast of Feasts. This week-long celebration happens the first week of Funistu, deep summer, and is dedicated to honoring the life of the first Furkun. Why can't I pronounce this, man? Furkuning. Each day of the week is devoted to some aspect of the Furkuning. Man, why does this trip me up? That annoys me, that it trips me up. Furkuning's life. And there are very specific dishes to be served at each meal. The Feast of Feasts originally began as a festival celebrating the birth of the Furkuning's first son, and soon became a yearly occurrence during the week of his birthday. Currently, Edirans simply use it as an excuse for a party and pull out all the stops in an effort to outdo the previous year. And lest you wonder, as I did, which Furkuning is honored during the Feast of Feasts, it is always the current Furkuning. For each Furkuning is the first and only Furkuning. Sweet Treat. A special custom that arose at some point during the Feast of Feasts, Sweet Treat started as a way to keep children occupied so the parents could dine in peace. While it is still used for that today, significance has been added to it. Each treat is placed in a container, usually small metal boxes, and hidden somewhere on the property. After everything has been hidden, the children are sent out to find the treasures. It is said now that the hidden treats represent Glenfathan's artifacts, and the children are the explorers bringing the riches back to their new and rightful owners. Carnival of the Mask. When the original colonists for Edir traveled to the new land to found the Deerwood in the name of the Ediran Furkuning, they encountered the Glenfathan people. The Carnival of the Mask celebrates this meeting. Originally, it was merely a formal reenactment, as a play, of the tensions between the Glenfathans and Adiran settlers, but it has since evolved into much more than that. Participants choose sides, and come dressed in elaborate outfits depicting which groups they have decided to align themselves with. Adirans are Glenfathans. Everyone attends a masquerade ball, and this party replaces any semblance of the play that was presented. Winter's End. Winter's End was never anything more than an excuse for a celebration, and it hasn't changed in all the years it has existed in Edir. It takes place during winter dusk and lasts all 3 days. People use the time to reflect on the year, celebrate their lives, and remember the dead, especially those who have passed in the recent year. Well, we already have this one. Contrary letter. Ambassador Hulgad. I have maintained order in Paradis for many years. I know this city. When there is a good leader and fair policy, there is peace. But you have allowed the Steel Garrote to terrorize my people, to sow distrust and fear. I suggest you tighten your Inquisitor's leash, or the embassy might not carry your banners for long. Claviger Aemond. Tane's Diary. Dear Diary, here I am in the living lands. This island might not be the safest vacation spot, but it's certainly the most colorful. Also the most flavorful, according to these mushrooms, and mushrooms seldom lie. Before I forget, I promised Bikarna I'd bring back a souvenir. There's rumor of a fallen star in Emerald Stair. Could be a nice addition to her collection. A message is scribbled on the inside cover. If found, please return to Tane the Archmage, author of Tane's Chaotic Orb. Steel Garrote Report. We found this book on a public bench. After careful study, our scribe confirmed the handwriting matches the signature found on scrolls of Tane's Chaotic Orb. Be advised that Tane is in the living lands. As a member of the Circle of Archmagi, he is licensed to go where he pleases. We will observe him at a distance, but no one is to engage him. Tane is either a harmless fool or one of the most dangerous people alive. We simply can't take that chance. The Eder Empire Part 2, Expanding Borders. In 2602 AI, Edoran explorers returned from over the ocean, telling tales of the ruins and treasures there, and of expansive fields that were perfect for growing Vorlas. The explorers warned the Fakerning that the locals were not friendly to outsiders, but the Fakerning, seeing this as an opportunity to extend his empire and secure trade on another continent, sent more explorers. Over the next 20 years, the area that would become the Deerwood was investigated, mapped, and colonized. In 2623, the first permanent Ederan colonial settlements were established. Vorlas fields were set up north of the forest in the Deerwood. Between the conflicts with the Glenfathans and the War of the Broken Stone, it floundered. It wasn't until 2643 that the opportunity presented itself again. Some Eothasian pilgrims, wanting to escape persecution, established colonies and Vorlas farming operations in the territory of Red Ceres. With Grand Valia on the verge of collapse, the Fakerning wanted to ensure his hold on the purple dye trade would be established. He encouraged the settlement and even paid to have the pilgrims set up in the New World. Because the Fakerning was still trying to secure his name in the purple dye trade, he was unable to properly respond to Admeth Hatred when he issued his ultimatum. To avoid a rebellion and leave himself time to oversee the Volas farms in Ariad Ceres, the Fakerning relented and made Admeth a Gref Palatine. In return for this concession, Admeth spent time and resources on the Deerwood's trade and shipping routes, benefiting the Fakerning with increased income. For 7 years, the Deerwood provided Eder with a steady income, leaving the Fakerning time to ensure his trade system in Ariad Ceres was strong. With the Fakerning's attention elsewhere, Admeth instituted the 10 Years' Treaties, ending slavery in the Deerwood and permanently removing one of the revenue sources provided by the Deerwooden explorers, the artifacts from the ruins scattered throughout the Deerwood. At this point, the Fakerning's word meant almost nothing to the citizens of the Deerwood. Admeth Hatred had replaced him as their true leader. In order to undermine Admeth's standing, the Fakerning found allies willing to explore the ruins against the treaty conditions and plunder them. Soon Eder again had a supply of artifacts to sell. When his agents were eventually caught, the Fakerning distanced himself from the operation, certain there was no way to link him to the proceedings. But the Gref, using means provided to him by his Glenfathan allies, discovered the evidence needed to prove the Fakerning was behind the plunderers. The conflict that arose from this revelation led to Admeth declaring independence for the Deerwood in 2668 AI. After a bloody 4-year-long war that resulted in the death of Admeth, the Fakerning relented. Trying to keep control of the Deerwood had become too costly. He signed treaties with the new Duke of the Deerwood and returned his attention to Ariad Ceres, redoubling efforts in the Vorlas trade, which is still running today. That's a lot of history.
Envoy, hello. I'm glad to see you on your feet. Kai.
Tej.
I'm surprised they let you in here.
I'm surprised you're still gainfully employed.
It's nothing like that. You run into all sorts of characters around here, is all. Some more polite than others. I didn't mean anything by it, Envoy. He's just curious company for you to keep.
Hey, somebody has to have the envoys back, because you all sure did it.
No one expected the Envoy to get assassinated.
Exactly. Amateurs.
Whatever's going on between you two, keep it to yourselves.
Naturally, sir. How can I help you?
The Emperor didn't have time to brief me on the living lands. What do I need to know?
There's a lot of ground to cover. Could you be more specific?
Who's in power here?
There is no singular authority in the living lands.
Not yet, anyway.
I shudder to think what the living lands would look like under your rule.
Well, to start, there'd be a lot more brothels.
Charming. power is invested in the leaders of the various townships scattered across the island. The largest are Fjord, Thirdborn, and Solace, none of which, I will note, are as safe and orderly as Paradise.
What should I know about Fjord?
Fjord Messeverno is located in a valley known locally as the Emerald Stair, named for the terraced rice paddies that cover its hillsides. It is our closest neighbor. The city, if you can call it that, was founded 50 years ago by animancers from the Valian Republics. Apparently, the laws governing animancy weren't lenient enough in the Republics. So the city's founders came to the Living Lands, where they could practice their discipline more freely. Currently, Fjord is governed by a man named Ignacy Vidaro. Rather inept to hear the ambassador talk about him. Fjord's farmers supply most of the grain and vegetables we eat here in Paradise. Or it did. Their shipments have been infrequent lately. Something about a blight in the fields. In any event, I believe that covers Fjord.
What's the story with the Thirdborn?
Everything you need to know about Thirdborn is in its name. It was founded by the third-born children of Rawatai, Navy dropouts, smugglers, and hands for hire. Almawa and Orleans, mostly.
Home, sweet home.
You're free to go back any time you like.
I like my current circumstances just fine, thanks.
They are people, in short, who couldn't cut it in the civilized world and had to make room on the margins. Unfortunately, they are currently besieged by the Dream Scourge. We have sent some troops to lend what help we can, and the mayor, Temerity, was appropriately grateful, but I don't know how long they'll hold out.
What can you tell me about Solace?
Solace is, what is there to say, really?
Yeah, they tend to have that effect on people.
The trouble is, I don't know much about Solace. Nobody does. They are an isolationist community of Pargrunan dwarves who live in the forbidding ways of Galawain's tusks. They don't let outsiders into their lands, and they don't let their people out of them.
Some folks get out from time to time, but they can't ever go back. And the ones who survive aren't eager to talk about their experiences.
People aside, the land itself is incredibly hostile. The island's volcano, Mount Forja, rests at the heart of the region, and it's recently become active. Half the land is lava rock, and the other half is, well, literally lava. I don't know why anyone lives there. I have to assume they're all insane.
You have no idea.
Well, can you tell me anything about the Pargrunan dwarves?
Naturally. The Pargrunan are a unique community of mountain dwarves originating in Old Valia. As a people, they have made their name as explorers, builders, miners. No doubt you've seen their ruins in your travels, here, back home in Adir, and all across the world. They maintain a rich tradition of oral storytelling, chanted magics, and ritual carving, which they take great pains to record and transmit across their various communities. Even the most physically isolated Pargrun is not alone. Somewhere, one of their people is thinking of them and planning an expedition. Abidan must cherish them.
You sound like you admire them.
I suppose I do.
I'd like to ask you about something else.
By all means.
I'd like to understand Paradis better.
What would you like to know?
What are Edir's intentions in Paradis?
Depends on who you ask. Ambassador Heelgard will tell you that our remit here is to establish a secure and orderly environment from which to engage in trade. Inquisitor Liudwin will tell you we're here to break the frontier.
So, which is it?
Why not both?
I'm not hearing anything about the Dream Scourge.
That's where you come in. Whether you find your desires aligning with the ambassadors or the inquisitors, neither can succeed until the Dream Scourge is ended. We are only beginning to see its effects here in Dawnshore. But the closer to the center of the island you go, the worse it gets. That bear you and the ambassador encountered in the Strangle Route isn't even the worst of it. And the tide of this soul plague is rising higher every day.
How do the Paradisans feel about us?
For however rough around the edges this city is, there are good people here. Same as anywhere else. People who want to be able to walk to the market in the morning for their bread and eggs and know they won't be mugged. People who like it when the mail comes on time, and their skates are made from real copper, and their neighborhood peeping Tom ends up in the stocks. Those people, good and honest people, who pay their debts and honor their contracts and remember to thank the gods, they like us a lot.
Tell me about the people who tried to kill me.
The Resistance, as such, are largely a group of misfits and criminals intent on undermining the rule of law. They take out loans with small Adiran banking houses and do not pay them, then assault the bankers who attempt to collect. They agree to contracts with families in Adir seeking homes, and when their ships arrive, promptly abandon them. When we levy a small tax to fund the repair of city roads, they set our counting house on fire. And when our fishermen return to port, they board their ships and sink them.
That's certainly one way to characterize them. It's not exactly wrong, but it's not exactly right either.
For decades, people like them ruled this city through fear. We imposed order, and now they oppose us. You, unfortunately, were caught in the crossfire.
I'd like to ask you about something else.
Of course.
You're the ambassador's secretary. What's he like?
Well, you'll notice I'm nearly always here. If that man sleeps, I don't know about it. He wouldn't say, but I believe he relied on the Claviger far more than he lets on. And without the Claviger's steady hand at the rudder, the ambassador's struggling just to bail water from the sinking ship that is Paradise.
Claviger Amon might have tolerated a little more chaos than the ambassador liked, but he kept this place humming. He's not someone you can easily replace, and not with one man alone.
It's a difficult job. The pressure sometimes gets the better of him. But if he loses his temper now and then, I can't blame him for it. Better him than me.
You don't want his job?
Be serious. Most of us here didn't get sent to the frontier because we were anybody's favorite. The longer I'm here, the more likely the people who matter are to forget me. And I'd actually like to get back to High Crown someday. Get married, have a few kids, take the civil exams, and settle into a permanent clerkship.
I guess there are worse ways to spend a life.
Like rotting in this embassy.
What's he like when he's not working?
He doesn't know what to do with himself. You know, in our first days here, he'd often walk to the end of the docks at sunrise. The work was done, the embassy was closed, and he'd still be wearing the same clothes he'd slept in at his desk. And he'd just stare out over the sea. He always seemed dissatisfied back then. I suppose, years later, he still does.
I should head out.
Should you ever need me, I will be here. Safe travels, Envoy.
Envoy, is it really you? I can't believe you're alive. When they dragged you to Liviana's clinic, I assumed the worst. How do you feel?
Disoriented, lightheaded, my pulse is racing.
And yet you rallied your spirits and reported for duty. Your dedication is admirable. But we'll return to the topic of your untimely demise shortly. Our first order of business is your purpose here in the Living Lands. You said you had a missive for me from the Emperor?
Here you are, Ambassador.
Very good. I'm eager to see what our Emperor intends. Now, His Majesty names you a loyal servant of the Adiran Empire, and an extension of the throne's authority. Thank goodness. At least someone understands the gravity of our situation.
His Majesty is concerned the Crown's efforts in the living lands could be jeopardized by the Dream Scourge.
With that, I have better news for him. You've seen how wild the living lands has become, both in nature and in politics. Sometimes I think the island has a mind of its own. No sooner had you arrived than you found yourself at the center of our troubles.
Maybe it has something to do with my godlike nature.
At this point, I can't rule anything out. We're in uncharted waters. This embassy has no shortage of political foes, but the Dream Scourge is what keeps me up at night. You've seen firsthand what it can do in nature. We can't let it reach the cities.
I'll get to the bottom of the Dream Scourge, Ambassador. Whatever it takes.
Thank you, Envoy. The island is in capable hands. Inquisitor Ludwig thinks the plague is a distraction. She's more concerned about these local rebels fighting against the Empire.
And you're not?
At least rebels know the meaning of negotiation and compromise. But a plague kills indiscriminately. Though, even I must admit, the rebels have gone too far. They've sabotaged our work, killed our soldiers, and the final straw, attacked you out in the open.
Killing me was bold. I'll give them that.
Indeed. The killer sent a message, but this is our chance to send one in return. I won't lie to you, Envoy. Our position is tenuous. If we can't even defend ourselves, how are we to defend the living lands? But defend it we must, for the sake of everyone who calls this island home. Inquisitor Ludwig demands that someone hang for the attempt on your life. These Paradisen rebels must face justice.
The Dream Scourge is my top priority.
True, but you can't investigate the Dream Scourge if you're dead.
Not many get a chance to solve their own murder, you know. I know someone who could help. A dwarven tracker named Marius. Kith or beast, there's little he can't find. He's staying at the Grinning Ballarrock, not far from Liviana's infirmary. We just take the main road east to the market, then head down the stairs and cross the canal. Rough part of town, even by the standards of Paradise.
A local expert is exactly what we need.
Marius is from the Tusks, about the harshest and remotest place the gods ever created, even by the standards of the living lands.
Trickery, lies. The gods did not build this place.
Let's just say no one survives out there without picking up a few skills, the kind we'll need if we're going to find hidden assassins. Especially if they're from the streets of Paradise.
I suggest you recruit as many allies as you can, but choose carefully. They, like you, will represent the Empire. But before we can send you off to parts unknown, we need assurances from the local healer that you're fully recovered. After all, you survived a brush with death. The health of your body is one thing. The health of your soul is another.
Liviana suggested I visit a Watcher.
An unusual course of treatment, but who am I to argue? Remember, the assassin is out there. You have the element of surprise. I suggest you use it.
Let's get on with it then. My assassin could be anywhere by now.
We'll talk more of the Dream Scourge when you return. Until then, Envoy.
How about we start with Marius at the Grinning Ballarrock? Besides, I could use a drink after all this.
Ambassador Hylgard's journal. I must admit, it is proving impossible to build diplomatic relations. The locals have a natural distrust of outsiders, and we have nothing they want. Inquisitor Ludwig believes that time and pressure will prevail, would that I shared her confidence. Ludwig. Under her gaze, I feel scrutinized down to the bone, picked apart like carrion, and stared through by a pair of cold, motionless eyes that have glimpsed too far beyond the veil, reducing me to some depraved pilgrim who prays only for her ossified claws to work their way under my skin, liberating me from this pathetic envelope, until at last we are bound together as a skeletal pair, limbs intertwined not as two beings but as one. There is no shame in being attracted to power. Nevertheless, I must keep such feelings to myself, lest they be met with revulsion, or worse, enthusiasm. Well. Letter to the Inquisitor. Inquisitor, I have been in Emerald Stair long enough to confirm our worst suspicions. The people of Fior Mesiverno care not for the laws of mortals or gods. Animancy and folk magic are peddled in defiance of Wardica. Their crimes are innumerable, their way of life intolerable. All is not lost. Politically, they are unstable, too focused on themselves to notice our eager hands tightening the garrote. We await your order, your friend in the forest. Adiran dialects. The sun does not set on the Adiran language. Those of us who commune with this proud language or some derivation of it populate every corner of Eora. Most of us who speak this wonderful tongue know it as Adiran, but scholars and those obsessed with correctness often qualify it as modern or contemporary Adiran. This is to contrast the language you and I speak today with Eld Adiran, the old elven language that was spoken in the Adiran Empire back before the pioneer settlers of the Deerwood built their longships. If Eld Adiran could be considered the mother of the living Adiran, the language of Hruspeak could be seen as Adiran's cousin. Hruspeak is fading from common use, but many of the elves, especially the older ones in the Adiran heartland, still use this dialect. Whether you know it or not, if you can read these words, you can understand Hruspeak. It is almost identical to Adiran, but includes a large vocabulary of archaic words that have fallen out of use in today's Adiran. When you hear bards sing old Adiran poems, there are often lines of chorus that sound like melodic nonsense inserted to complete rhymes. These are usually instances of words that are lost from our common language, but still used in Hruspeak. While Hruspeak is familiar to speakers of so-called modern Adiran, the same cannot be said of our language's predecessor. Eld Adiran is a dead language, spoken by academics but not used in any major community. Eld Adiran words are often familiar to Adiran readers, but the words use orthography that has since been abandoned. Unfamiliar accents marks abound. For example, Eld Adiran contains some diphthongs that have no place in the modern Adiran, as well as a few tricky consonant clusters. Ia creates an aya sound that sounds like the colloquial salutation heya. Eo sounds like Ayo. This sound is still used in the modern word Eora. A is pronounced as Ayi, such as in Wraith. UE and U with an umlaut both create long oo sounds, as in loop. Y sounds like a E, sounds as in B. GJ sounds like a consonant, Y, as in U. SC sounds like sh, so you'd pronounce scop like shop. CG sounds like edge. End of a word like hedge. It is not uncommon for given names of Adirans, Derwoodans, and Rietserans to come from Eld Adiran. Some examples. Aldwin is pronounced Aldwin because of the long vowel sound on the Y. Durnisk is pronounced Durnish, since the final SC cluster sounds like an S sound, like a sh sound. Yestra is pronounced Yestra on account of the GJ consonant cluster. Sledge is pronounced like sledge. Thiersch is pronounced thiersch. Uskrim is uskrim and not uskrim. Ingmar is pronounced Ingmar, leading with a vowel sound. Well, that very interesting. Didn't mention the O with an umlaut though, only the U. Which is not the usual pronunciation either. God damn it. God damn it. Oh well. To hell with it, I say.
Hey, so close. But what's the point? It's useless without that Adra. Oh, you are a special one, you are. I thought all the godlikes were taken back, wherever they came from. Don't mean a thing by it. I'm glad to see not all the gods have abandoned us.
What do you know about godlikes?
I know we had one or two disappear lately. Gods took them back, I heard. Just another sign, I guess. You should know, this place is heading quickly into a swamp of madness. Even the plants and the animals feel it.
What do you mean, the plants and animals feel it?
Something is happening here. The plants and the animals are changing. No one knows why, or exactly what's doing it. Sapiento di Falva, alchemist and dreamer, at your service. My latest experiment was meant to solve the scourge that has come over the local flora and the fauna, but it wasn't meant to be. I expected my main reagent to be delivered today, but I suppose the gods had other ideas.
How concerned are you about this scourge?
You may have noticed, or perhaps not, since no doubt you've been busy, that wildlife here has gone a bit wrong. No one knows how best to describe it, but we can all see it. Something is distorting the life around here, and I hoped to stop it.
You feel you have the answer?
Possibly, yes. But now I can't begin my tests without my main reagent. I have everything I need, but the most important part, the luminous Adra, to cleanse the souls of the wildlife. The gentlemen who are supposed to acquire my Adra have not delivered it, and they seem to be avoiding me, as if they fear my wrath.
Gone through a lot of trouble to get this stuff.
Oh, it's very hard to find. It comes only from the Deadfire Archipelago, and when refined, can have wondrous effects. Enhanced strength and stamina, slower aging too. I've even heard it has a pleasant minty flavor when mixed correctly. My friends must have lied. Or they got the Adra and they lost it. I can't imagine why else they would be acting so strange about it.
You think the Adra should cure the affliction?
The people of the Deadfire have been refining luminous Adra for its health benefits for gods know how long. If anything can cure this affliction, that's it.
If we find your friends, we find the Adra.
Best of luck with that. I saw them briefly not too long ago, looking shifty and desperate. They were running around the paradise, talking to other scholars in the area. Ganef and Remio, I believe. And an older lady. Don't recall her name.
They're as desperate as it sounds. Things might get a little dangerous.
I don't wish them ill, but I really need that Adra. Any luminous Adra will do, he said, as if the stuff were falling from the sky.
Step right up. I can tell you need more fire in your life. Or maybe more essence. Please buy something. I'm trying to prove a point.
And that point is?
My sister, the blacksmith, she doesn't think this will work out. I say she's wrong. Why keep a dagger under your pillow when you can use a ward stone instead?
Spells can fail. A sturdy weapon will never let you down.
You're no fun.
Let me see what you're selling. Put a decent ladder. 5 of those.
Envoy, are you looking for work by chance? A pleasure, Envoy. I'm Aldrich, the Bounty Master of Paradise. If it suits your fancy, check the board for work. The dangerous kind. Some more than others. Speak to me when you've got something to turn in.
How did you become the Bounty Master of Paradise?
Hey, someone had to take the job. Ensuring that these threats to the good people of Paradise are eliminated is my way of helping. I guess I consider it my first steps down a long road to atonement.
I'm sorry, did you say atonement? What exactly happened?
Apologies, friend. But that's none of your concern. I left there for a reason. And now I'm here. And that's all you need to know.
Fair enough.
Be safe out there, you hear?
The hunters set that up as a way to earn some extra coin.
Bounty, Nakib. Attention, a reward will be given for killing ivory spinner Nakib. She is the cause of the spider infestation beneath Paradis, and killing her will cull their numbers. She is known to be in her nest in the caves beneath the city. To claim your reward, return proof of your kill to Aldrich in Paradis.
You're a brave soul, Envoy. Spiders are bad enough as is. Let alone big, mean bastards like Nasib.
Nasib. Bounty, Ralga. A reward will be given for killing the ogre Ralga. He took over leadership of the Sorib tribe and is wanted for their recent killings of the town citizens. He is known to be at the Mercenary Falls, located north of Paradis in the Reach. To claim your reward, return proof of your kill to Aldrich in southern Paradis.
Going to take on the ogre then? Reckon he's the most dangerous bounty we've got. Be careful.
Bounty, Tempestuous Luandi. Attention, a reward will be given for killing Tempestuous Luandi. She is a known smuggler ringleader, wanted for numerous crimes against the citizens of Paradis. She is known to be at the ship graveyard in Andres Reach, east of the shanty town. To claim your reward, return proof of your kill to Aldrich in Paradis.
Tempestuous Luandi caught your eye, huh? Watch yourself. Her aim is as sharp as her wit.
Bounty, the Yellow Bands. Attention. A reward will be given for killing the Yellow Bands. They are responsible for a number of raids on the northern farms and for ambushing travelers to and from Emerald Stair. They are known to make camp amidst Pargunan ruins east of Paradis. To claim your reward, return proof of your kills to Aldrich in Paradis.
There ain't many ways into that camp from what I've heard. You might want to consider trying to find one. A frontal assault would be mighty reckless.
You there. You look like you know your way around... hello. I heard what happened. I see why you'd want to protect yourself.
There's a merchant at the docks who sells weapons and armor like yours.
Probably because I made them. Or most of them, anyway.
You aren't worried about him undercutting you?
I've already been paid for them. If Volter happens to stumble onto them later, what can I do?
Do you have any specialty pieces?
You mean enchanted? No. A shield does its job just fine. It doesn't need to be tinkered with. Talk to my sister if you're interested in that kind of thing. She's over there. At least I don't think she's blown herself up yet.
I've met her. She's very enthusiastic.
I don't know where she gets it. I'd swear she was adopted if we didn't look alike. 3 generations of hammering, and then she comes along. Guess souls are strange like that.
I'd like to buy some. Well, really, I'd like to sell. Could buy more iron chunks for my daggers. Also, there's Atra there. I need that for sure. Let's see.
You there? Are you just going to stand there and gawk at that body all day?
He's dead. It's not like I can do anything for him, now can I?
You can see that the poor bastard is properly processed. What is this? Charnel House?
First week in the Living Lands.
So, you're the one they all crow about, eh? Best hunter and guide in all of Dawnshore?
Just Dawnshore? Phew, must be slipping.
You just look like a drunken dwarf to me. Seen 1,000 of you roaming back home in Avowed.
Guy sounds like a charmer.
Ha! The mighty Marius, deep in his cups, ready to take on the deadliest prey, providing they're asleep at the time.
Right. Take another sip of my cool. Rude not to finish a drink someone bought for you.
No wonder you're hiding behind a mug. You're too worried about being polite to survive out there.
The dwarf there is Marius. Best tracker I know.
Interesting. Let's see how this plays out.
I heard you're from Solace Keep. How great a survivor could you be, hiding behind stone walls all your life?
You don't know anything about me, you Adiran Nimdut. So maybe go back and take another blessed day sip.
But here you are. Tell me, how does one get kicked out of a place that never lets anyone leave?
Duktetragu sakasapt jitule. You want to talk so much, I'll cut you a second mouth across your throat.
The friend looks like he has this well under control.
I think this is about to get interesting.
I knew you were blessed in Nimdut the moment I saw you coming. Thought maybe I'd teach you a lesson. So I paid the bartender a few gold to drop a tiny bit of Widow's Kiss into a cup and serve your drink in it. Cramps should be starting in a few minutes, so, if you want to fight, we should go ahead and get started.
Widow's Kiss is powerful venom, but it's only deadly if it's injected.
You know your stuff, but I doubt they do.
Envoy, you see? Will you stand by and allow this maniac to poison a fellow subject of the Emperor?
You'll survive, as long as you run away. Now.
Oh, I can feel it. Gods, you.
Oh, that is quick. You better get to a healer before the poison spreads to your brain.
You wait, Marius. I'll be back. Hopefully.
Well, that was something.
Marius, this is the infamous Adiran envoy. Envoy? Marius.
Well, any friend of Kai's is definitely a person.
What just happened? Widow's Kiss is only harmful if it's injected.
You know your poisons. It was a test. That guy's such a Nimdut, he thought he was doomed. And he actually believed I could pay the bartender to poison someone's drink. Gods, the taverns in Adir must be rough.
I might suggest you use Hangman's Tear next time.
Smart. The effects are more widely known. Let their imagination run wild on them. Noted. If I'm not mistaken, you're looking for someone to help find the people who killed you.
Exactly. Do you know how we could find them?
I need to see the scene of the crime, over by the town gates. I promise there's something left there we can use to track them.
I already know that the killer is from Parathis.
Then they wouldn't need much of a reason to go after an Adiran official. Plenty of stale water there. Still, it's dangerous to make assumptions based on stereotypes. We need more of a trail to go on. We'll figure this out, Amakul. Don't you worry.
Alright, let's go to Marius.
See, Marius? Told you I wasn't ready to hang it up yet.
I had it under control, Amakul. But thanks.
Ah, it's the principle of the thing. Now, what'll it be?
Let's see what you've got. Lockpicks. Definitely use those. Snack supplies while we're here. Rob the larder.
you're doing.
It's quite painful, clearly.
No signs of a struggle. Looks like misadventure to me.
I don't know. Break like that? It's hard to get yourself.
I assume you intend to pursue this line of inquiry.
Oh, we have bounty. Octave the Firebrand. Attention! A reward will be given for killing Octave the Firebrand. He is a wanted arsonist and runs a bandit gang responsible for numerous killings and robbings. He is known to be at the Godless Ruins in the overgrown frontier, northwest of Paradis. To claim your reward, return proof of your kill to Aldrich in Paradis.
Oh, Octave. Now that's a dwarf with a chip on his shoulder. Heard he burnt the last ones that went after him alive.
Yeah, that sounds cozy. Call it a day soon.
Envoy, got a situation over here. Oh, good. You came over. Glad to see you're up and about.
For fuck's sake, can we move this along? I don't have all day.
We can talk later. What are we dealing with?
The same thing we deal with every day. Most of us are off searching for the ones who attacked you. That leaves us short-handed, so people like her try to sneak in. I caught this one, but I have to check her cart for contraband. There's a lot to dig through.
Sure, I'll lend an extra pair of hands. I owe the rebels a thing or two.
Find anything?
This grenade doesn't look very legal to me.
I knew you were hiding something. You'd better have an ironclad explanation for this.
I don't know anything. Someone's trying to set me up.
Thanks for the help, Envoy. I think I can handle it from here.
Right here. This is where the envoy fell.
If it were me, I'd take the shot from up there above the embassy. Let's see if we can get up there. If they confiscated that stuff, it must be worth having.
Audit of confiscated goods. To be held until further notice. Boot knife, white leaf, sword, arrows, swiftberry, grenades, modified pistol, does not fire, grave step, 1, sickle. Seen more weapons this week than in the past 2 months combined. Should report to Captain Sinric. Is this organized? What is Paradis planning here?
An interesting day so far. An interesting day indeed. Well, I'll be chomped by a Zarep queen. You're that godlike from the docks.
I am.
I can't believe my luck. Nothing all year, and then boom, interesting strangers just falling out of the sky.
Interesting strangers, eh? Have you seen a crew of dwarven smugglers by chance?
As a matter of fact, I have. Indeed, a young dwarf and his crew stopped by. Seemed agitated, like they were afraid of someone.
It seems odd that they would come to a scholar for help.
They were asking all sorts of people. Seems like I was the only one willing to really speak to them. They were asking where they could find luminous Adra, of all things. Can't imagine what they'd needed it for. I said they were most likely out of luck, but I might know somewhere they might find some if they looked hard enough.
Where did you send them?
Not long ago, a group of animancers looked to carry out some experiments into teleportation. They carried their instruments and a healthy supply of luminous Adra to the island of Castel's Folly. It's possible there's some still there.
I assume the experiment went poorly.
Oh, I'm afraid not. No, those people were never seen again. That's why I think their Adra might still be there. Question, why are you looking for those sailors? Did the Valian captain send you?
What Valian captain are you talking about?
I don't know much, but one of the smugglers whispered the name Captain Bardato and spit on the ground. The name sounded Valian to me. I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
Have you seen this Valian captain in Paradis?
Oh no. I imagine a Valian sea captain knows better than to spend time among all these Adiran soldiers. The folks you're looking for are probably getting themselves killed searching for Adra that probably isn't there. I can tell you wouldn't listen to me if I warned you not to go to Castel's Folly, so I wish you luck.
just on the verge of a level up.
Wouldn't want their diplomats going hungry or sober. Right behind you.
You, wouldn't think behind the embassy spiders, but here you go. Like a jungle. Nice work. With any luck, your assassin will be as bad at hiding their tracks as they were at making sure you stay dead. Coming in hot. Be aware. There's, probably 1,000 spiders in there.
Another one down.
That's one for us.
There's a bow.
Yeah.
Flask of poison. This flask is empty, but it reeks of swamp water and rancid berries.
Smells familiar, but I can't place it. Whatever it is, it's not used for game hunting or keeping beasts out of your garden. The apothecary might know more. That's where I'd look.
Seems like a good place to start.
The assassin was ready for me. I wonder what that tells us.
It tells us they were hunting you. Whoever did this takes pride in their work. They made sure this stuff would kill you. Go back to the market and up the stairs to the east. You'll see a large building with a big window on top.
The mermaid's den. Nice place. We should say hello to Juliana while we're there.
The apothecary's in the back alley. Any luck? We could track down who made this poison. Find your killers.
More crit damage. Definitely useful for us. So, Alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for me for today. Thank you very much for joining me for today's episode. I really appreciate it. And I hope you'll be back for the next one. Until then, please do take care, be safe, and enjoy life. Good night, and good luck. Bye-bye.